I weighed myself this morning to check my current weight, and I am 179.8 pounds, which is a good zero point 0.6 pounds less than yesterday, which is very good. And I think this might be the first time I've reached my 70s in poundage in at least 3 months. So, a round of applause. Yay, me. Well, let's go over the exercises and the foods done yesterday to achieve this milestone. So, yesterday, I remember needing to walk back home after dropping my vehicle off at my auto shop to get it checked on. And that took about 20 minutes of walking time, so I'd count that as exercise. And then I spent a good half hour swimming 10 laps back and forward in our pool, which was quite an exercise. I felt very nice and relaxed afterwards. I think I'm going to do that more often. Now, those were the exercises I did. Let's go over the meals. If I remember correctly, in the morning I had an egg, 2 bacons, and a slice of cheese on a keto-friendly bun with mayonnaise. That was pretty good. Then, for lunch, I had a yogurt smoothie, full-fat yogurt, Greek yogurt, with lemon in it. And that was quite good as well. And then, for dinner, I had a beef burger with keto-friendly buns. This was homemade, by the way. Mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise with avocado fat. And lettuce, iceberg lettuce with tomatoes. And 1 slice of bacon. And that was what I ate yesterday. Now, let's go over how yesterday went, and maybe some potential dream talk as well. Well, if I were to say how it went, I guess we could start at the very beginning. Now, I woke up very tired and groggy, and I knew I needed to get work on my car done, but I also needed to get ready before leaving. So I wet my hair, combed it, got some water, and then went off on my way in my car. The check engine light was still on at this time. I stopped by at the auto shop and I asked the auto shop employees what could potentially be the problem. I told them a diagnosis was from the EVAP system, and they said that that would mean they would have to gas the system in order to find leakages in appropriate spots and then properly patch them or altogether replace hoses for more newer, durable hoses. So I agreed to leave my car with them and I walked back home. When I arrived home, I pretty much spent a good majority of the day reacting to online content that ranged from, if I'm being honest with you, I genuinely can't really remember off the top of my head, which isn't a good sign. All I can tell you is that I started to become more aware of the fact that I was pretty much not really using my time wisely. And so I thought, well, maybe I can start working on my YouTube video. Oh yes, and I almost forgot, before I got caught away in video land, I did record my update video for yesterday. So I may have already repeated some of the information from last video in this video, but I haven't checked the last video, so I can't really say for sure. But there you go. So I did do 20 minutes of editing, which is not the hour I said I promised to do. And you know what that means? It's time for some push ups. So, I guess we might as well get started. Here we go. All right. Here we go. 10 push ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alrighty. And there you have it. Whew, I forgot how intensive push-ups can be. Yeah. Alright, I better do an hour of editing today to avoid that. Although I gotta be honest, I do feel pretty rewarded after doing this. Maybe I'll just do it anyways. Who knows? But hey, I needed some kind of stakes to get myself to do some editing. Oh gosh, I hope I don't reversal the decisions in my head and say, well, if I don't edit, maybe I can do some push-ups. Yeah, that'll be exciting. I needed to do something that's more something I don't want to do to get myself to want to do it. But we'll just go for this for now, see what we can come up with in the future. Well, alrighty then. We did 20 minutes of editing, or I did. What am I, Gollum? And afterwards, my mom asked if I would like the smoothie, the Greek yogurt smoothie with the lemon. Of course, I agreed, and I have to say, it was okay. It was a bit too watery for my liking. I like my smoothies to be more creamy, and this one was just, well, watery. The flavor was good though. It had a nice creamy flavor to it, and the lemon added a nice twist. There's got to be a good way to make a nice creamy smoothie. I'm sure I could find a recipe online. Well, after that, I remember my mom got a call from my sister saying she would be arriving and that she was going to stop by at the hospital to give our family friend some chili relleno, or chili relleno. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think that's how you pronounce it, but apologies if I butchered that pronunciation. Well, after that, we decided it would be a great idea to use the pool and swim in it. So I got into my swim shorts and we went for a few rounds back and forward in the pool. That was a lot of fun. When we got out, we worked up an appetite, so my mom made those burgers. Well, I got out the condiments, the buns, keto friendly by the way. I prepped those buns with the condiments on them, and then we had the lettuce broken apart by my mom, as well as the tomato. And we put all that together, and we had ourselves a very good sandwich. At the time we finished and went outside to eat our meal with our A&W Zero Sugar, my sister had arrived, and she pretty much told us what happened, which was that she greet our family friend, and our family friend told her what happened when me and my mom were there, and that she is looking to get out either today or the day after. We'll have to wait and see. Well, after that, I told them about my dream, which I already said my previous dream in the previous video. I do have a new dream to share with you in this video. And afterwards, my mom wanted to invite my sister out for a swim, but I had to be honest, I was extremely exhausted and tired after swimming, and I just wanted to go to sleep. So I said good night to my sister and my mom, and I got to rest in the room. I thought I was only going for a quick nap before doing my daily routine of taking my vitamins and brushing my teeth, but I ended up just going full throttle and going to sleep instead. And this is where the crazy dream happens. It was extremely vivid, and it felt very real in a weird way. Now, I'll do my best to describe what happened. I remember it started out, I was in the living room over there, but the living room was bigger, and there were seats in the living room, pretty much like the couch seats that are in this den. And I was sitting there, and I remember opening a compartment in one of the couch's armchair things. I forget what they're called. Armrest, I guess. That looked like a little selector, like a digital selector. It was like circular, and it was blue, and had 4 like pie cutouts, or not literal pie cutouts, but 4 cutouts like of equal length. And I remember, I think there was like a screen that was at the corner of that room, and I remember I could go throughout the menu using that navigation system on the armchair to browse what was being seen on the screen in that room. And I remember it was just a bunch of different like selections of things. And one of the things that I remember is like an old late 90s PC Rugrats game of all things. I don't know why that was there, but that's what my brain like came up with. And it was like an old game with like those old polygonal like graphics with like the texture warping and everything like that. Like, and it looked like one of those. And I know what that looks like, is like I'm a huge nerd who looks into that stuff online. And I was like, well, I've never played this, and I don't really have any interest in playing it. So I shut it off, and then I closed the armchair. And then I noticed there were some people who were knocking at the door. So I opened the door, and I kind of remember there were people who I was familiar with, maybe old friends of the family that I haven't seen in years, but I can't really say specifically who. I just get that vibe when I'm recollecting this story. And the weird thing is that when I turned around after everyone came in, that big couch area was gone, and the screen was also gone. And everyone was kind of crowding around, having a nice little gathering. And then I decided to walk outside, and when I walked out, it looked like nighttime in this area in the dream, but when I walked outside of the living room, it was broad daylight, and suddenly I got the urge to go to work. So I remember going into like a transportation, like a bus, but not like a big bus, but like a mini bus where it could only hold like 4 people, but I wasn't the only one in there. And it was driving me away, and the entire neighborhood looks fairly similar to the neighborhood I live in. But the weird thing was, when it turned around in this neighborhood, I remember like a street where I expected certain houses to be was completely transformed into just one house at the end of a cul-de-sac that looked like a mansion. And that caught me completely off guard because I was like, what the heck? What's with this weird random mansion that has just popped up out of nowhere? And I didn't really question any of the logic of the dream. I just went with it, which isn't that so weird how, like, if something weird happens in your dream world, you just go with it without really, like, questioning anything about it. And then, like, no matter how weird it gets, it's so weird how our brains just shift into that way of thinking when we decide to sleep. But, anyways, I found this area, and I was let go there from like the four-seated bus with no driver in the front. It was like one of those auto driving cars. And I got out and I decided to go in this mansion. And for whatever reason, in this mansion, it was filled with older people who were taking care of other people's grandchildren. And the grandchildren were running around this mansion area. Well, the old folks were like taking care of the house and putting like clothes on racks and putting clothes in washers. And for whatever reason, there were washers and dryers uh, everywhere in this mansion. I have no idea why. And they were all pink skin with a gray like rimming around, buttons and like the tops of these washer dryers. It was an odd sight, and I was just walking around this area wondering, why am I here? And as I was walking around, I remember I woke up in my room and I felt like it was kind of normal, but also not normal. Like like the room was much darker than how it normally looks at night. And I tried to turn my head to look at the time in the room, but no matter how hard I tried, like I couldn't. I was having a difficult time moving. So I suppose this might have been some form of sleep paralysis. Um, and I just remember thinking, hmm, maybe if I say I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, because for whatever reason, um, it felt like an attack because I couldn't move my body at all and like I was stuck. Like I felt like, oh no, is an evil spirit attacking me? Which a lot of people say they feel they experience when they get sleep paralysis. So I thought saying something that my mom says when she feels like stuff like that happens to her is, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, could help ease the issue a bit. And then I remember like waking up early in the morning for real, and I saw that the time was like 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And the weird thing was I didn't have this like feeling like, oh, I'm shocked. I had more of like a casual, ooh, I need to use the restroom now. So I went and used the restroom, got some water, and then went back to sleep kind of feeling. And as far as I can remember, that was pretty much it. Like I don't remember anything else other than that happening. I just remember how weirdly vivid and real the dream felt. And I also will say that before I went to sleep, I was listening to the Gateway Experience tapes while going to bed through YouTube, where it was guiding me through how to access a greater state of consciousness. And I have noticed that whenever I use these tapes, my dreams do feel much more vivid and real, like the more I use these tapes. I'm not sure if it's just a placebo effect or if there's genuinely something to the whole binaural beat slash hemiseek frequency ordeal, but whatever the case is, it is certainly something that I'm certainly wondering about for sure. I ended up waking early in the morning, and when I got up, my mom said she was leaving, but I wanted to check my weight first. So I checked my weight, and then when I was done, I said goodbye. And she said goodbye back. I said love you. She said love you too. And when she left, I went on YouTube, and I was going to watch the new Digital Foundry on the new Donkey Kong Bonanza game. But before I did that, I decided to make myself breakfast. And as I was making breakfast, I remember feeling quite anxious about when my car would be done, because I would like my car back as soon as possible, because I do go to work today at 2 p.m. So I made myself an egg, 2 eggs, scrambled and then made into an egg patty with cheese on top, 2 slices of bacon, another set of the keto buns, just one keto bun. I toasted, put some mayonnaise on it, and then I put the egg with the cheese and the 2 bacons on top. I remember needing to wash everything before using again because it was left there previously unwashed, so I had to do all that. So I had the sandwich ready to go. I made myself a cup of coffee, and I was watching the Digital Foundry Donkey Kong Bonanza video. And then I remember getting a call from Jose, one of the mechanics who works at the place the auto shop I go to. And so I did go, and I went to pick up the car. I paid for it. It was about $150, which is quite a lot. And but now my car doesn't have the check engine light going off, so that's great. And the evap system is working as it should, and any leakage has been corrected. So I'm hoping this is the last big ordeal for my car in a long time. Well, I got home, and then I realized I needed to write a Yelp review for the shop I went to, because I actually did promise the mechanic that I would write a Yelp review. And so I did. I said they were very helpful, they were very knowledgeable, they knew what they were doing, and they did a great job. So, very good stuff. Well, after that, I went to the house and realized, oh, I haven't made my update video. I better do that right now. So, here's the update video. It took me a while to set up the camera and the tripod and the sound and everything, but here it is. And that's pretty much my day from yesterday, as well as the health update. I will see you again tomorrow. I go to work tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So it's going to be a full work day, and it's going to be my first closing day in a good month, I would say. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Let me make sure that my remote's turning on, and bye, everybody.